Stefon Diggs bursts into tears after what Cardi B said. Nobody expected this moment. Not the fans. Not the cameras. Not even him. On what was supposed to be a calm, low-key evening, Stefon Diggs found himself standing completely exposed, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually, after a few simple words from Cardi B shattered every wall he had built. The room went quiet. No music. No chatter. No distractions. Just truth. The moment everything changed. Cardi wasn't yelling. She wasn't angry. She wasn't dramatic. Her voice was calm, almost trembling, not from fear, but from honesty. She looked directly at Stefon and said, "I know the world sees you as strong. But I see how tired you are. And I need you to know, you don't have to carry everything alone anymore." That was it. No accusations. No ultimatums. No pressure. Just recognition. And that's when it happened. Stefon's eyes filled instantly. A strong man finally breaks. He tried to look away. Tried to swallow the emotion. Tried to breathe through it. But the tears came anyway. Not the quick wipe away kind. Not the, "I'm good" kind. These were deep, uncontrollable tears, the kind that come from years of silence finally collapsing under the weight of being seen. For the first time, Stefon wasn't the athlete. He wasn't the public figure. He wasn't the man expected to always be unbreakable. He was just, human. What Cardi B really meant. Cardi continued softly, her own eyes glossy. "I don't need you to be perfect. I don't need you to be invincible. I just need you to be real, with me." That sentence hit harder than any crowd roar, any headline, any pressure he'd ever felt. Because nobody had ever asked him for that before. They only demanded strength. The silence that said everything. For a long moment, Stefon couldn't speak. He covered his face with his hands, shoulders shaking as he finally let years of bottled-up emotion spill out. Fans watching later described it as heart-stopping. Others said it was the most real moment they'd ever seen from him. No PR spin. No performance. Just a man realizing he didn't have to fight alone anymore. When love isn't loud, but it's heavy. Cardi stepped closer. She didn't interrupt. She didn't rush him. She simply stood there. Present. And sometimes, that's the loudest kind of love there is. Stefon finally looked up, voice cracking as he whispered. "I didn't know I needed to hear that." Why this moment hit fans so hard. This wasn't about fame. It wasn't about headlines. It wasn't even about romance. It was about emotional safety. About what happens when someone finally sees past the armor and speaks directly to the wounds underneath. Fans flooded social media afterward saying things like, "This broke me. Men need to be allowed to feel too." That wasn't tears, those were years. A turning point no one saw coming. Whether this moment marks a new chapter or simply a powerful pause in their story, one thing is undeniable. That night, Stefon Diggs didn't lose control. He let go. And sometimes, that's not weakness. That's healing. Warning: fictional story for entertainment purposes only. Stefon Diggs bursts into tears after what Cardi B said. No one in the room expected this moment to unfold the way it did. The cameras were already rolling. The lights were warm but intense. The atmosphere felt charged, like something important was about to happen, even if no one could explain why. Stefon Diggs sat quietly, trying to keep his composure, unaware that a few sentences were about to completely break him down. Across from him stood Cardi B, confident as always, but this time, there was something different in her eyes. Not the fiery bravado fans were used to. Not the playful sarcasm. This was raw. This was personal. This was real. When Cardi finally spoke, her voice didn't rise. It softened. She didn't attack. She didn't accuse. She didn't dramatize. She simply told the truth. She talked about loneliness. About silence where love used to be. About feeling strong for the world while quietly breaking behind closed doors. Then she looked directly at Stefon and said the words that changed everything. You don't know how hard it is to love someone who's always praised for being strong, when nobody checks if they're okay. That was it. Stefon's jaw tightened. He blinked once. Then twice. His hands clasped together as if trying to hold himself in one piece. The room went completely silent. And then, his eyes filled. At first, he tried to fight it. Turning his head slightly. Breathing deep. Swallowing hard. But the emotions came crashing in waves, too heavy to stop. A single tear escaped. Then another. Within seconds, Stefon Diggs broke down completely. Not the controlled, quiet type of emotion, but the kind that comes when something finally hits a place you've been protecting for years. His shoulders shook. He covered his face. The tears weren't for the cameras. They weren't for sympathy. They were for everything he never said. Cardi didn't move at first. She just watched him, her own eyes glossy now. When she stepped closer, she added softly. I never needed perfection. I just needed honesty, and presence. That sentence hit harder than any accusation ever could. Stefon lifted his head, eyes red, voice trembling as he finally spoke, barely above a whisper. I didn't know you felt that alone. And that's when people realized this wasn't drama. This wasn't clout. This wasn't a publicity moment. This was two people confronting emotions they'd been running from. Fans watching later described it as uncomfortable but powerful. Social media exploded, not with jokes, but with stunned reactions. I've never seen Stefon Diggs like this. That wasn't acting. That was pain. Cardi said what so many people feel but can't say. What made the moment even heavier was what wasn't said. There were no declarations of forever. No dramatic promises. Just honesty, raw, imperfect, human. By the time the cameras cut, Stefon wiped his face slowly, took a deep breath, and nodded, not in defeat, but in understanding. Sometimes, the strongest men don't break when they lose. They break when someone finally sees them. And in that moment, after what Cardi B said, Stefon Diggs didn't just cry, he released years of silence.
쳐다보고 있겠지. 묘한 짜릿함 그 속에 머물다 보면 어느새 제주 행비행 신비한 세계로 나를 이끌고 거짓말처럼 하늘을 날며 어느새 제주 바다가 내게로 와 도시가 보이곤 해. 그 도시에는 또 다른 내가 하늘에 떠가는 비행기를 올려다보고 있겠지. 난 하늘을 보고 또 다른 나는 아래를 쳐다보고 있겠지. 묘한 짜릿함 그 속에 머물다 보면 어느새 제주 행비행 신비한 세계로 나를 이끌고 거짓말처럼 하늘을 날며 어느새 제주 바다가 내게로 와 있네. 난 하늘을 보고 또 다른 나는 아래를 쳐다보고 있겠지. 묘한 짜릿함 그 속에 머물다 보면 어느새 제주 행비행 신비한 세계로 나를 이끌고 거짓말처럼 하늘을 날며 어느새 제주 바다가 내게로 와 있네. 난 구름 위를 날고 있어. 아래엔 간혹 도시가 보이곤 해. 그 도시에는 또 다른 내가 하늘에 떠가는 비행기를 올려다보고 있겠지. 난 하늘을 보고 또 다른 나는 아래를 쳐다보고 있겠지. 묘한 짜릿함 그 속에 머물다 보면 어느새 제주 행비행 신비한 세계로 나를 이끌고 거짓말처럼